How's it going, guys? This is Jimmy from the Thors-Kin podcast. I'm bringing you the very first episode in our brand new DLC playlist. What we're going to be doing with this is basically just a separate set of videos that we can do throughout the week just to bring you guys more content and add to the channel. And it's kind of an opportunity for us to discuss things that happen throughout the week that we don't want to wait until the weekend to record and then edit and drop, just the way that we do our podcast. And also maybe to discuss things that maybe we don't either want to dedicate to real estate in the podcast, or things that we maybe in the other way around that want to get into a little bit more depth than what we can go into in the podcast if it's going to be a cram one. So that's what this playlist is for us. So I hope you guys enjoy it. This is our first one. We're kind of just dipping our toes into it this week, just to get into the groove of things. We'll be tackling, deeper and deeper subjects on each one. But on the first one, just wanted to keep it real light and just discuss, as you can probably tell by the gameplay, the new update that's out for ReCore, the Definitive Edition. So it's really cheap if you don't own the title already. I think it's about £20 buy-in. Christ, I didn't even check how much that equates to. Probably $30, something like that. And it's a game that you should already own. If you own an Xbox and you don't already own ReCore, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice, because the gameplay is tight as hell. The mechanics with the platforming and just the way that the enemies work with taking the cores, and as you can see now, it's just one of those gameplay loops that's really satisfying. They've got loads of areas to explore with the platforming and puzzles and dungeons and everything. It's just one of those, in my opinion, must-own games. But it did represent Microsoft's, in my opinion, their biggest missed opportunity this generation, in that this came out at a time that Microsoft could have really done with a graphical powerhouse just to get everyone's attention back on them. And this would have been a great title to kind of link those two up, because it had the gameplay already, and they could have basically just made sure that that it gave everyone the whole package. But needless to say, it kind of only gave people half of the package. And even though they kind of tried to justify that this game was half the price because they were trying something new, the reality is that it was probably half the price because they knew that it was somewhat of an unfinished product that they just had to get out there. Now, I've just said, gameplay wise it's fantastic, but graphically it really needed an update, and that's what this does. It kind of goes over the textures again. It's not the best looking game in the world. There are plenty that kind of step it up from this, both in terms of just overall graphical fidelity, just to final display resolution, everything. Just there's plenty of other games out there that beat this game out in terms of looks. But this update does just sort of round off those edges, just sand off the rough bits, no pun intended. And basically the HDR laid up over that as well just gives the whole thing just a nice fresh lick of paint that it kind of needed day one anyway. One of the biggest things that I was hoping from this was one or two things. I hate little bugs, and when map markers don't work when they should be one of the easiest things to do. He says, having no idea how to make a game, but waypoints and things like that are one of those things that you kind of take for granted and you don't notice until they're done badly, and this game did them badly. It would lead you to the corner of a dark room and say that your objective was 2 meters into the inaccessible doorway in front of you. They fixed that this time around, and it's flawless from the get-go. It's one of those little things that it should have been like that all along, but I'm glad that it got updated, because it just gives you that little extra comfort knowing when you go back and you want to play these games that you don't have to sit there and think, oh, but I've got to put up with such and such bug that it's just pisses me off. Like, you can just put that to one side now, and it should have been like that day one, but at least it's been back and fixed now. The second bit, not so much though. The second part of what I was really looking forward to was fixing the load times. Really pissed me off about the first one. It's why I stopped playing it, because I just could not be bothered with waiting for the screens to load up each time. It would take like over a minute, and just to load up anything. And part of the patch notes I was reading through is that the load times are supposed to have been reduced to sort of 5 seconds at times. And I don't know whether it's just me, but unfortunately I'm getting nothing of the sort. Basically everything that I've still got is taking 40 odd seconds to load still, which is just a plain piss off. So I kind of don't know whether the updates work properly for me, whether the patch notes were over-promising and the patch itself was under-delivering, or whether it's just certain sections of the game. Maybe that I read the patch notes and expected a bit more, and I'm taking note of the wrong situations and what load times were updated. But I mean, overall, just the graphical update that they've done to it is worthwhile. So like I said at the start of the video, if you guys haven't already got it, definitely go out and get it. It's costing you no more to go out and pick this up than I think what it was originally. So if this went straight into your backlog, now's the time to dust everything off and revisit it. But that's going to be it for now, guys. Like I said, we're just dipping our toes in the water for these DLC videos throughout the week. There's going to be more subjects, more videos. So if you like this one, make sure you hit the like button and press subscribe. And until next time, guys, see you later.